Welcome to SBC. We're here at the epicenter of NBA hoops here at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're happy to be joined by head coach Alvin Gentry, former head coach Alvin Gentry, now the executive and vice president of basketball engagement. My name is Sam Stern. I'm here with Jake Miller, and boy, we're excited to be talking to you, and we really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, no problem at all. I mean, I truly enjoy this, and I do think that the classroom, the SBC that you're involved in, is one of the best things going, I think, especially for anybody that's trying to get into the NBA front office situations or anything else for that matters.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up because that was actually going to be my first question. Obviously, we're here at Summer League, and it's so influential for players who are trying to crack their way into the league to be able to communicate with executives, with coaches, other players. Obviously, you've been coaching both collegiately and professionally for 42 years. You have a plethora of experience. I'd have to imagine you have a lot of success stories, a lot of impactful moments that you've had. I was wondering if you could kind of take us through what it's like, not only from a team perspective when you're helping these players, but also what it means for these players to be coming here and meeting people like you who can have a big influence in their early careers.
Well, you know, first of all, I just think this has been a great opportunity, especially for the younger players, you know, to come and just kind of get a taste of the NBA, playing against guys that's going to be the future of the league that they're playing, you know, that they're competing against right now. So I think that's a great situation. And then just the everyday life that they have to have here, you know, for the 10 days or 2 weeks that they're here. You know, you have to have time management, and you got to manage your time. And although you're in a city like Las Vegas, you know, you have to eat properly. You got to get your rest, and you got to get especially sleep. Sleep becomes the most important thing, and nutrition becomes a really important thing. Yeah. That you can't run out and grab fast food and think it's going to be okay. You got to eat very healthy meals, and most of the team here, they make sure that the guys are doing that.
Yeah.
And continuing on your coaching experience, I was personally wondering, there's a few instances where you were an assistant coach for a few organizations and you became the head coach directly after. And there's a couple times where you became the head coach mid-season. I was wondering if you could tell us about the adjustment from assistant coach to head coach and also the difference of doing it mid-season and during the off-season.
Yeah, I think the toughest thing is to do it mid-season. You know, when you're an assistant coach, it's just an entirely different relationship with the players. You know, you're kind of the go-between between them and the head coach, and you try to keep peace and you try to make sure that everybody's on track. You move 12 inches over and become a head coach, you know, of that particular team, and now you're not giving suggestions, you're making decisions. And I think that's what becomes extremely tough because your relationship with all the guys on that team really kind of changed because you're the guy that's now putting them in and out of games. You're the one that's controlling their time. You're the ones that's taking them out of games when there's mistakes. So I just think that at that particular situation where you're taking over mid-season, that becomes extremely tough. I've done it where I've been an assistant, and then at the end of the season I become head coach. I think that's a lot easier to do. You know, you can implement your own kind of strategies and programs and you know, if you're going to change the offense or change the defense at all, you have an opportunity to do that, and you have an opportunity to work on it in the summer as well as before training camp even starts. So it's a lot easier to do it you know, after the season's over and the new beginning of a season than it is to take over in the middle of the season for sure.
Yeah, and building off of the question that Jake asked, obviously you've been with 8 teams throughout your career and many different roles with those 8 teams. And I want to go to 2015, obviously the climax of your career, winning that championship with Golden State, obviously with Steve Kerr, current head coach Mike Brown underneath the Kings. That was the first championship in 40 years for the Warriors in that period. First, I want to know what that meant to you in that moment, being a part of such a great team, obviously historic team, franchise. And then also, what lessons did you learn? What did you bring into that next role? And we know at the time you had that Pelicans head coaching job.
Yes.
What lessons did you learn during that season in particular with such an elite team that you took into that next role?
Well, first of all, it's kind of ironic because we had just beaten Golden State. I was the associate head coach of the Clippers, and we had just beaten Golden State in a 7-game series that was really, really tough. I mean, played extremely hard. They played extremely hard. And so we won the 7th game in that. And then the opportunity came for me to go with Steve to Golden State. I thought it was a great opportunity. I thought that they were ready to win. You know, you never know if you're ready to win a championship, but I thought it was ready to win. We were ready to win and may have an opportunity. So I thought Steve did an outstanding job for, a first-year coach. And the thing that I thought he did a great job of is kind of setting the ground rules right from the start. This is the kind of team we're going to be. He did a great job of defining roles. And, because of that, I think our guys felt very comfortable. And when we got into tight situations, obviously you have to have talent. And with Steph and Clay, they can bail you out of just about anything. But Draymond was also very, very important on that. So I just think that, and then I go to New Orleans, and there's a lot of things that you can take from winning a championship. At that particular time, you know exactly what you have to do in order to win a championship. So you can start building from that point on and try to get your guys in a position where they can win a championship.
And it's funny you bring up Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, two of the most legendary, well, some would argue the best backcourt of all time. Give me an attribute.
I wouldn't argue that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we know that it's been argued lately, so that's why I had to bring it up.
I know that, yeah.
Can you tell me an attribute about Klay or Steph, or both, that really made them one of those elite duos that any NBA team didn't want to go against?
Well, I think in Steph's case, if you read the scouting report on him when he was coming out of Davidson, it was such a negative thing. Not really a point guard. Doesn't really have the strength to play in this league. Kind of injury prone. We'll see if he is able to stick and all of this. If you know Steph at all, and I've known Steph a long time because of his dad, obviously. He's such a competitive guy. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he still got that scouting report framed, and he keeps it in his locker, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But and then in Klay's situation, Klay is just a great shooter, and he can step up in any situation. And when you've gotten 60 points in this league in 29 minutes and took 11 dribbles, you're a special player. So those two guys have done a lot. And then obviously Draymond is the glue that holds all of that things together because of his ability to be a facilitator and get those guys open shots.
Yeah.
And Alvin, as I was talking to Wes Wilcox earlier today, I learned your son, congratulations first of all, just graduated from USC.
He did.
He did, and he's looking to get into the business of the NBA as well. I was wondering if you could give him any advice right now. What would you tell him? Well,
number one, he graduated magna cum laude, and he did it in cognitive science. So he's way, way, way too smart to be in this business. But no, it's something that he wants to do, and obviously he's grown up his whole life being around it. So he wants to give it a shot, and I would not discourage that. I would support him in every way possible to be able to do that and see which direction he want to go. Does he want to get on the coaching side? Does he want to be in the front office or anything like that? So it's good. It's a good situation, and obviously I love it. I love what I've done over the course of my career, and it's been as an assistant, as a head coach, now in the front office. So it's something that I truly enjoy.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss to not talk to you about Kings basketball. And obviously when you think Kings, you think about DeMar DeRozan, who is that big off-season acquisition. He joins forces with two of the best players in the NBA in Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. And obviously we know one thing De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan have in common is the fourth quarter is where they live.
Yes, that is correct.
Obviously, from a coaching background and an X's and O's standpoint, how do you envision that working out? Not obviously just in the fourth quarter, but on the floor come October. Do you see that being a seamless fit, especially with the guy in Sabonis that is one of the best facilitators in the league?
I think for sure it's going to be a seamless fit. DeMar is one of those players that I think when you're a really, really good player like he and Foxy and Damas, you find a way to make it work. And I see him as really a big help in the fourth quarters like you're talking about, because then we don't have to have Foxy, the whole weight of the game of coming up with a big play at the end doesn't rest on one guy's shoulder. You got another guy that you can give the ball to, and he can either go get his shot or he can create a shot for somebody else. So we're really excited about that part of it. I just think that he gives us another really good player, and obviously when you're playing in the West, that's a tough situation anyway.
Yeah. And now that you're in the front office, I'm sure it feels good for a player as big as a name as DeMar DeRozan to come over to Sacramento. But on the other end of it, when you were in New Orleans, I wanted to just ask you to take us into your mind on what you were thinking when the whole Anthony Davis situation was going on.
Well, those kind of things happen, and I think AD's he had the desire to win a championship. He didn't feel like we could do it there, which I didn't agree with him on that, but it was a situation where he decided that he wanted to be traded. So you don't want to hold somebody hostage if they don't want to be with your organization. And, he decided to leave there. I think if you look back and you look at that organization now and where they are, they're in a very good place. Dave Griffin has done an outstanding job there. They've acquired some additional talent to go around Zion, and, I think they're going to be a factor. So, you lose a guy like AD, but, you can benefit from that, because if you look at some of the things that have happened as far as draft choices and swaps that they've had because of that trade, or the guys that they've had on the team right now, you look at the Brandon Ingrams of the world and things like that. So I think it was a good trade, for both organizations. And I think if you look at New Orleans now, they move forward.
Just to close out this interview, and we really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. You're from Shelby, North Carolina.
I am.
I know your cousin David Thompson, Hall of Famer, Nuggets legend. I know that's kind of where it started for you as far as your love of basketball, being with him. Can you talk about how having him in your life, having that start, what made you want to be in this sport, and what kind of impact did he have on you getting into this industry and into the sport of basketball?
Well, the first thing is that we grew up and, all we did was play basketball, We made this dirt court by his house, and the way we did it was that we went down to the creek that we lived by. We took buckets and buckets of water and poured them down and packed the dirt so that we were able to dribble the basketball, and it became almost like concrete. So that was one of the things. And then he was a good enough player that he had the key to the gym, his gym at the high school. So, we would basically go there and play all day. And he was a great athlete and a tremendous shooter. But we play all day there, and just fell in love with the game. And then he played at a rival high school of mine. We grew up in the same family, and went to the same church and did all of that. But he was at a rival high school to mine, and they had this bright idea that as a sophomore I would be able to guard him because I knew him. That didn't work out too well, guys. That did not work out too well. I think he ended up with 40 points or something. But we've been that way, and we continue to be close. But yeah, I would say that him being in my life made you work hard. You knew what you had to do to get to the next level. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to go to college, and I played for Pistol Pete Maravich's dad for 2 of my years. So it's been a really good thing. I love this game. This game have given me a lot. Almost everything that I have is because of basketball. So it's something that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah. Alvin, we really appreciate you taking
the time.
Thanks a lot,
guys.
It's an honor. We really appreciate it.
And good luck. I think you guys got a bright future.
We appreciate it.
All right. Okay, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in here on SBC again. Sam Stern, Jake Miller. We'll be back to you here at the home of NBA Summer League here at Thomas & Mack.